Yeah, let me go grab my beer real quick because this is how I'm spending the Saturday evening. Welcome to Saturday's Piece de Resistance. Okay. I chose that name for a Saturday show because for those of you who are kind of I don't know, multilingual, PC de Resistance is French for the best part. Um, I know that uh, you out there could have been doing many things with your Saturday night. You know, going to take a stroll in your downtown scenery. That is, if it's not raining, shaking your tail feather. But guess what? You decided to spend your Saturday evening here. So thanks for tuning in and let's have a good show. Okay. Um, yeah, just wasn't really, sure to do what to do tonight on a show. But then, I started to think about this. It's like black men, basically having to explain ourselves, as far as how we feel and, justifying our positions. But what I'm about to do is justify my disposition. Yeah, disposition is basically uh, how you perceive life, whether it's positive or negative. Me, I see a lot of negative, and people, they don't understand why. And I mean, that's cool because you have people that want to focus on the positives. Now, I don't know what public figure said this in the past, but um, they would tell you that if you're a black man and you're not angry, at least a little bit, you must be out of your goddamn mind, which is cool. I mean, it's cool, because so much has happened to us, and so much continues to happen to us, and it ain't, and some of it's our fault as a people. So, I don't know where do I begin. I don't know. Just should I begin when I was born? I don't remember much about that, but I was born. Um, I don't think not even a decade after the Civil Rights Act was signed. Um, yeah, it was a very tumultuous time to say the least. Especially for blacks, trying to adjust to life with some semblance of normalcy, and it really wasn't normalcy at all. It was more so of a kind of conforming type deal because the results of all these movements, the only thing that really stopped was the violence against blacks. And I mean, that really didn't stop. It just publicly did not make it okay. So there I am, a little boy. And, my parents weren't too far removed from that whole era. So, I guess, in all our minds, somewhat, the adults still kind of flipping out and wanting us to be careful and, you know, and wanted the kids to be okay. So they tried to teach us somewhat of a humble way. Um, kind of, I don't like for us as a people, we have to, be against teaching how to be humble. We have to teach our people to assert ourselves. And, when you try to teach kids the other way, it can have, several effects, whether they be positive or negative. Uh, you're probably going to have a pushover junior all your life, on your hands, and they don't understand why the world is so mean. Or when you try to teach at home, you might have a outlier, uh, reverse effect, someone who pushes back, kind of like I was, a little bit. Um, Everybody, always says that, I come to social media a little angry. I haven't done that on YouTube, you know, because it's just I feel like that. I can't insult the intelligence of my audience and my subscribers. So, um, so I opt to carry myself a certain way here. I mean, most of what goes on other social media sites is jokes, but it's a lot of jokes with meaning. But oh yeah, oh yeah. So we're gonna have us a good old little show tonight. Um, yeah. So remember, this is Saturday's PCD Resistance. I know I'm gonna have to explain this title sooner or later. And if it doesn't work, hey, try another one. But I don't know. I like that saying PCD Resistance. Just imagine you have such a sense of grandeur that you think you're the best part of a Saturday night. That the show's the best part of a Saturday night. So this is going to have to be one heck of a show as it develops. As it appears more and more, because this is going to be every Saturday night. It's like last night's going to be every Friday night, and tomorrow night's going to be every Sunday or any given Sundays. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. But I'm with trying new things on this channel. It's still a very young channel, even though it's only been around for like 2.5 years. Excuse me. It's and its development and growth has been quite interesting to say the least. I can say successfully that I have not been in any kind of beef. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that it remains that way. I mean, when you don't do stupid shit, when you don't do stupid streams and such, and really honestly, if you got viewership, no stream is really stupid. But at the end of the day, there are some that are. But that's no dig to anybody. I just want to be, I don't know, I would say relatable to everybody, while at the same time, you know, being professional. I mean, what's wrong with coming to a YouTube platform and trying to carry yourself as a professional? My occupation may not require wearing a shirt and tie, but you can be a professional if you want to. You can be a professional wearing a hot dog suit if you want to. Yeah. But the black man's disposition, like, I don't know. We have a people that's under the impression that if you, I don't know, and it's like this with black people. Black people bust your chops. Black people will, try you, and in some ways they try to insult you. But when you clap back, then there is immediate gaslighting. They was just playing, you're too sensitive, things to that nature. You know, well, sometimes people have a reason for being the way they are. You know, so one thing I hate hearing a person say when they're in a conversation with someone who disagrees with them is "Who hurt you as a child?" Now, everybody thinks that "Who hurt you as a child" is a savage clapback, but honestly, I mean, and to me, it's just weak trolling. I mean, who cares? Who cares? I mean, put it like this: what if they really got hurt as a child? Now, to that person, you have now, like I said, you have now diminished or demoralized their life experience. And you basically, what you're saying is, that person is a joke. I don't care what happens to you. And, sometimes people can't. Sometimes people can't. They can't get through that. They can't get through that kind of thing. Okay? They mentally break. So I really want to tell y'all certain ways to, just kind of get through this kind of thing, get through, the mental, the mental brow beatings and the psychological gaslighting and, basically just being told that you matter, because I understand that sometimes we as men, we have the tendency to have want to be a little steel chested and not admit to any kind of emotional vulnerabilities, such as, being angry because someone said something about you, to you, just insulted your family. You got to hold all this to the feet in order to maintain a solid, presence among your peers and your constituency, and especially to the genuine public. But it's like it's only so much a person can absorb, and you have to understand that. So here's like I'm gonna talk about one way I get around really like just losing my shit and not breaking down, not spazzing out. What you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to adopt a little apathy. Not care. Sometimes I know it's tough. Sometimes to a small group of people, if you don't respond to some nonsense or fuckery, they start shitting on you and start calling you things like weak and start calling you things like a pushover. One thing you're gonna have to get past in all of that is name calling. I mean, you have to believe that. You have to believe that no matter how bad these names get, no matter how bad that the name, the people that call you the names, no matter how bad that gets, you have to understand that the person on the other side that's calling you names is full of shit, and you're like the greatest thing ever. I mean, you literally have to think that way. You look at yourself. I mean, your index finger, point it right at yourself, and you tell yourself, "I'm the greatest thing going," and that person on the other side doesn't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. Life is cruel. See, oh, here you go. What's going on, bro? Hello. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear, Buckaroo. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me. If I can.
All right. Hello? Awesome. I can hear you clearly now. So what's going on, Donnie? This is Donnie. You ain't shit for watching. Look, and shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Rogish the shout out to Rogish the Bill Monger. It's in the chat. And you long live the habitual line steppers. Yeah, so what's going on, Donnie?
Long live him, man.
Yes.
Just step in line, being the daddy.
Okay.
Got the little boy with me to go play with his cousins so he can look. Um,
Okay. Yeah, you was kind of borging a little bit. But oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna come right back on.
Rogish. Okay. Yeah. Rogish the Bill Monger. Yeah, we're talking about dispositions and you know how to deal with dickheads, morons, assholes. People that just pretty much get on your nerves, and having to deal with it or being told you have to deal with it a certain way if you are a black man. And sometimes it gets annoying, it gets tiresome, but that's what we deal with, and there are ways to get through such things. You know, I mean, I think that the most basic thing you can do at that juncture is to just be a black man. I mean, understand and know your importance, and don't ever falter from that. Like I was saying a second ago, take that index finger, point it at yourself, and say, "I'm the greatest thing going." And everybody who hates on that doesn't have any friggin' idea what they're talking about. You know. So we got Donnie again.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm just pretty much talking about my dispositions.
Not much.
Uh,
Trying to live my best life out here.
yeah, how to deal with dickheads, goofballs,
Driving
assholes,
in the
snitch.
road with these crazy people. So
Oh, okay, you
what's the
driving.
topic of convo today?
Oh, I was saying, how to deal with, how to deal with people who are kind of haters and, the cause for dispositions, as a black man, and I started out by stating that, I have sort of a negative disposition, kind of an outlook on life. And I'm willing to come forward and admit that that doesn't mean that, I'm, having a pity party, feeling sorry for myself or telling myself that I need to change. I'm just, it's just called a realization, and I just want to use this broadcast as it develops to, understand, why our dispositions exist, you know. So
Getting deep on them today.
yeah, man, sure. This is the Saturday Piece de Resistance. That's Piece de Resistance is translates in French as the best part. So, you know, just want to be the best part of someone Saturday. You know, if I could, if I could be at least, excuse me, if I can be at least one person's best part, then I've done my this Miller Lite in my hand.
You're a Miller Lite person, huh?
Hmm. Yeah. So what can be the cause of dispositions?
Cultural upbringings, environments.
Mm.
Realistically, a lot of the issues we have are uh,
Oh, okay.
cultural and environmental. You got a lot of people with. It's sad to say it at this point. We have a lot of people who are born without fathers in the house,
Hmm.
so their disposition is going to be more of an effeminate nature when it comes to certain things, just simply because they didn't have a man in their household.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I do promote the nuclear family and the importance of it, and one of the reasons why it's so important is that is balance. Is it's you if you have to have a father in your life to kind of level you out a little bit. And when you see, I don't know, I don't know what that's like, honestly. And every person that I've hung out with, they've either had a father or a father figure in their lives, you know. So would I try to be careful when I speak for people who didn't have fathers in their lives because I can be a bit apathetic about it. See, here's the thing. When people start running down black fathers and such, like, black fathers have a very bad rap as far as our, the narratives in our community. Mostly the narrative by black fathers is we ain't there. We skip out on our responsibilities. Uh, we should have wore a condom. And just everything possible. And you know, when you become a black dad, when you talk about cultural stuff, you don't want to hear that shit anymore. Especially Donnie, the first time you laid eyes on your son, what did you feel?
What the fuck have I got myself into? No, he looked just like me. He was a spinach. He still is a spinach image of me. But it was. I really thought to myself, how do motherfuckers get up and abandon their kid? How do people get up and say they can't be around? And then it occurred to me on a large scale, a lot of these dudes who can get up and abandon their kid, they wasn't shit to begin with. They didn't really care. They didn't want to be in that position. So they're having babies with these women are having babies with niggas who just ain't shit from the start. You don't just become an ain't shit person. You can't. It's hard for me to believe that you can lay eyes on your seed and go, fuck that nigga. I'm going to the club. I'm going to go get these rims though. I know that little nigga need Pampers, but he'll be alright. I'm gonna get this 20 bag of weed. Hey, like in my mind, you was already fucked up before you had a child. And so that's why I find it hard when I find it hard to give somebody sympathy when they say they had kids with a dude and they didn't know he was a ain't shit person or he turned out to be a terrible father. You knew all along. You just chose to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, female intuition, and then I also talk about vetting partners and getting to know people, but, that seems to be a foreign concept or they call me old fashioned when I suggest such things. I mean, but it's like when you tried it your way, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people throw sex around willy nilly and don't think of the consequences, and then they get surprised when there's consequences.
Yeah, which is kind of stupid. I mean, I don't mean to be condescending about this, but uh, I don't understand what people miss. They're missing right now is what I got when I was their age, when I was younger. That if you didn't want a child, you either protected yourself or you abstained from having sex. Why can't and it seems like, when you have these conversations, no matter how much you just tell people, you know what, those are always the two options. They treat you like that you just told them to kill themselves.
My recurrent nightmare was because I knew what I was doing. I was sleeping with a girl, and my oh my god, I'm gonna have a baby with this whole she's she got a big booty. Her mom's crazy. She crazy. And it always made me that more paranoid with having sex with these women. I made it 35 years without having a child. So I just I don't know. I think people don't weigh that as options. You
Uh,
always have the choice
mhm.
to not get pregnant, to not have a baby.
Okay, yeah, that's the gist of it. There's always a choice. Nobody's making you do anything. I really hate the whole he should have wore a condom thing. But, when black sons hear that kind of rhetoric, what do they start to think? See, what do they start? I mean, when the black sons hear that kind of rhetoric, what do they begin to think? Do they think, hey, look, I'm not important? Well, what was I a mistake? Did you not plan on me being here? I mean, I would like to think that I wasn't in position fuck up, as you say, you know. I mean, you keep screaming if you didn't want a baby, you should have wore a condom. Well, what were you thinking at the time? What were you thinking at the time? And then when you got a little boy that constantly hears that, like he was unplanned or he was some kind of mistake, his value lowers. When these women say stuff like, um, he doesn't feel value because his father's not around. Where did they get that idea from? I mean, some like, what do you say about the kids whose fathers passed away? What do you say to those kids? Oh, he didn't feel value because his father wasn't around. No, that mother is giving that kid the idea that his dad didn't want in the first place. She's not gonna say stuff like, uh, well, I was just a raggedy bitch, and he didn't want me. Excuse my French, but what single mother that you really know has given themselves a bad report card? When it
How
comes to certain things.
how many times have you seen it to where you seen divorce court and all these shows where you get these dudes get up and they get up there and they get tested and the mama's like, it could have only been him. It was one or two people. It could have only been him, and I know who I slept with. It could have only been him, and then apparently it was a third dude in the mix,
A third or sometimes a fourth.
fifth and sixth, right? So you got to go down the list with this chick because she wasn't being honest about her sexual experiences. She was trying to lie to the child. My thing is The conversation of he should wear a condom only applies when it's a deadbeat man. But
Dunny, Dunny. Hey, Dunny, you doing the Roger Troutman right now, man. You Borgen. And I mean, like, I'm really you. What you're saying, I'm sure is compelling, but is
basically you now.
Yeah.
No,
Go.
I'm back.
Yeah. Right now, yeah. Yo, still Borgen.
Never, you hear me clear, right? Mm.
Still Borgen.
Ooh, wait. All right, I'm gonna come back.
All right. Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, yeah. Well, that's Donnie right there. Donnie always got a good word. Um, yeah, but let me put it. Okay, let me put it to you like this. After hearing that so many times, what would you think a child's reaction would be to that? And it's being like kind of shirked off as a mistake or something that's unplanned or it's unplanned, and having to hear that repeatedly because of the lack of accountability from his mother and his father who did not want to be there. Mm. Yeah, but it really is just something to think about. Yeah, Rogish. Yeah, he is Borgenhard.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, clearly,
Cool. So what I
clearly,
was saying
Donnie.
before is that I hate the whole argument, the conversation point of he should have wore a condom. That conversation only applies to broke niggas. It only applies to niggas who aren't shit. Because when it's a rich dude, oh, hit him for child support. Oh, you need to pay. Make sure he get him for all this. It becomes a money point at that time. When it's a broke dude, he's not shit. That's when it's all of a sudden he should have wore a condom. He should have known to wear a condom. But you knew he wasn't the shit. So you can't get no money from him. Now it's, well, he should have just worn a condom. Maybe you shouldn't have fucked him.
Oh man, I had myself on mute that whole time. But yeah, the whole like this is logic that we have been using since the '80s. Keep a condom in your wallet. Just for the fellas. Keep a condom in your wallet, and the whole. Let me see, TV and the media back then and movies. That was our form of social media, except for it was more prominent people doing it, and they always sent them messages out. What happened, from that time till now, to where people act like, okay, if you're complaining about your deadbeat boy, your deadbeat boyfriend, uh, your deadbeat boyfriend, your deadbeat baby daddy not being there, then shit, I don't know what to say for you. I mean, but don't do that in front of your son. I mean, just okay, all right, cool. I mean, don't do that in front of your son. I mean, how many times I've seen like, frustrated single mothers yell at their kids in public, and they'll blurt out this one little thing right here. They'll blurt out, you ain't like, and I've heard this a couple times from a couple different places. You ain't shit. You just like your damn daddy. There goes a disposition right there. It's like if I ain't shit and my daddy ain't shit, then what am I gonna turn out to be when I grow up? It's kind of like Eddie Kane on the Five Heartbeats. He just had a good moment singing and shit, and then he walks up to his parents. His mother, his mother gives him a hug, and then his father, he ain't gonna be shit neither. And then stands up, looks his son in the eye, and say, "You ain't gonna be shit because I ain't shit." I was like, man, me personally, and this is the kind of person I am. I know they did that for a movie. Eddie Kane descended into drugs and, met him outside the performance one night wearing the old Five Heartbeat suit. Talking about some nights like this, I wish. But I decided a long time ago, even if it was my dad, I look him in the eye and say, "You crazy?" and just walk off. You know, is just you're crazy. There's nothing that you can tell me or say to me that'll make me think that I am less than important. And this is something that I feel like that we need to get through our thick skulls sometimes. That you do have a sense of importance. Especially as a black man. It's like even if you have a disposition, use that disposition as your strength. Is it helps me get through day to day functions. I'll tell you that. You know, it's like say for instance, um, okay, if I make a mistake in traffic and somebody says you fucking asshole, then I just flick them a bird and keep going. Some people have the mental capacity to let that shit bother them all day, every day. Oh my god, he called me an asshole in public. Oh man, I can't believe don't never let me catch you doing that as a black man. Talking to the fellas. Don't break down at the first curse word. Don't break down don't break down when, the first person looks at you cross-eyed, you know. Cause I mean it's kind of female like when you do such a thing. Like I remember a girl like that. I remember dating a girl like that. It was like everything was good and then uh I would say let me see if I can remember this situation correctly. A group of white girls walked by and she swears two things. She swears either they looked at her cross-eyed or I was looking at them up and down. See, here's the kind of person I am. I look at all my surroundings and see where each what, who's in what position, all that shit. you know, who's at my alpha, who's at my six, who's in the 3 o'clock position. I like to be aware. I like, because I've had some surprises in my life. And but I do try to be respectful of dates. I mean, this girl melted the fuck down because she let her insecurities get the best of her, and it ruined the fuck. And I decided myself at that moment, even though I had already decided something similar by that time, that I was never going to be like that. If somebody looked at me like I was cross-eyed, I just let it be their problem. They see something that they need. They see something that I got that they want. you know, I mean, people don't think like that. People sit up there and act like they give these fuckers power, and then they let it ruin their night. And the date and that particular night, that girl let her insecurities ruin our date. you know, I'm saying, we have to. I don't care how powerful you think your enemy is, or how great you think that dick that you really wish you were impressing on the other side. You're never supposed to give up your position in your disposition. You're not at all. If like I don't care if he's wearing an expensive suit and he looks at me up and down like I was some kind of peasant, nigga. You ain't finna. And I mean, like, people don't understand, like, why I'm not intimidated by someone's status or stature or whatever. I can always play the smart role, but I don't know. I guess it's because, I've been around people with money. I've been around people with influence. I mean, and and those people displayed the ability to treat me like a normal person. So I don't feel a certain kind of way when I get around people who have had some success, or nor that I feel like that I have to belittle myself for people who are somewhat more successful than I am. Because when I see people who are more successful than me and they treat me like a normal human being, the people who act stuck up and be all that bullshit, I easily ask them, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's nothing against their success. It's just that I see everybody the same. Not everyone. You're gonna have to give some people some props. You can't have that disposition with everyone. And sometimes that it isn't that smart. So you have to choose carefully who you do that to. But if they're just not showing you any kind of respect and they're just not giving you a chance, then you burn the fuck out that bridge. Like, and have fun doing it. Don't let anybody shout you because they might have a little bit more money or they might have a little bit more popularity. People in this space, they try to do that kind of thing. They try to do that kind of thing. And you have to let them know. And you have to let them know, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm cool, you cool. Hey, we're human beings. Let's be cool. You're not any better. Yeah, because I was watching somebody yesterday. I mean, he looked like he was just clearly overcompensating. This is nobody y'all know. This is nobody that's in the manosphere space. I'll put it to you like that. And he was just spouting off about, how big he was, how he showed his work, how successful he was, and he was just getting all mad because, I guess some people weren't buying into him, or he had got roasted, or something had happened. But it's like I really can't stand like the person that comes in and like they're just like, well, I'm better than this person. When you say something like I'm better than you, I mean, I don't like I said, I don't care if like I said, I don't care if you're working at a bank and you look at a homeless person and say that shit. You will never be truly better than anyone. Period. Because there's gonna come one day that you're gonna get to an age to where you're not gonna even if you live, you're not even be able to control your bodily functions. you know, and you'll be just as good as everyone else then. You know, when we die, we not breathe the same not air. You know what I'm saying? Is no need to be shitty to a person, honestly. Whenever I see a homeless person, and a lot of their times they have dispositions. I'll be frustrated too if I had to sleep outside every night. I've had homeless people be rude to me even if I gave them a little change. But I understand. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get in a warm ass bed, hugged up next to a beautiful, cuddling, and whatever happens, happens. Wake up the next morning, fixing breakfast for a very happy child. Know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, for that particular person, they're not going to be able to do that. So if I give him $1 and he look at me and say like, "What the fuck is this?" He could keep that dollar because what he's probably going to have to go through in the next 12, 15, 20 hours is going to be a whole lot worse than what I have to go through. I thank God every day for the position I'm in, for the little I have. I shoot. I even thank God for this YouTube channel. And I know it sounds a bit silly and a bit lighthearted, but yeah, you have to be thankful for everything you got because you could be that homeless person. And everybody that's homeless, they weren't unambitious. It wasn't their fault. A lot of these homeless people in our country were veterans. They were veterans. I see the guys walking around in canes. Some of them had legs, some of them missing their arms. Shoot, I don't know what happened. But let's welcome the Roger report to the broadcast. What up, Roger?
What's going on, Kev? How you doing this evening?
Shit, I'm good, man. How about yourself, man? Just trying to, do this PC Day Resistance. Trying to be the trying to be the best part of a person's Saturday out there, and even if it's one, I've done my job. I appreciate that one.
Well, consider your job done. The Roger report is here, so somebody getting something out the deal.
Word. Mission accomplished.
uh,
But we got shout out to Negro Damas in the chat. You know, thanks for the good word, man. Thanks for tuning in.
oh, you know what? I just thought of something. I'm gonna dip out real quick and be back. Give me like 30 seconds. I'll be back in
30,
30 seconds.
30 seconds. I can think of something to talk about for 30 seconds. Mm. Yeah, I was just talking about the homeless person and how I give them change, and even if they gave me an attitude, I'll let them keep that change. Seriously. Yeah, when I see people, yeah, I see people who, they'll get mad with a homeless person and then cuss that homeless person out just to get a W. I mean, what is a W against a homeless person? What is that? I mean, it's like I used to mess with homeless people sometime. I used to be like, before they even ask me some stuff, they'd be like, "Oh man, can I borrow $1?" I asked them to borrow $1. That was a trick calling me talk to me about my cousin. But after a while I just stopped doing that because like I said, it's just it's to me, it's just a terrifying existence. You know. All right. Shout out to you ain't shit for watching. That's in the chat. He was up here a moment ago. My habitual line stepper brother and the Roger report. Oh, here we go. Boom. There you go. What's going
Okay,
on,
maybe it
Roger?
was about 34, 35 seconds. I'm like,
Wait. I
uh,
mean, but it's all good. It's all good.
yeah. Okay. So what you got cooking here tonight? What's going on with this one?
No, I'm just explaining, how dispositions and people, especially black men, because this is a channel that is centered around content for black men. How we develop our dispositions in life. You know, what can shape us up to be the positive or the negative human beings that you see today. And I started out with myself, and um, I, admitted to having sort of a negative disposition. You know,
Ooh.
yes. It's to me. Yeah, let's get into that part right there. To me, I see a lot of negative things that I want to see, done away with, solved. And I do feel like that because that I point these negative things out quite often, that I am faulted as a black man. And because of that, I think that 95% of the world is stupid. There's a very small percentage of people out there that want some tangible, sensible change, and I can't stand it. I may seem a bit agreeable when it comes to, when I do the news stories. I love my people. I love messing with racists, which I've done on quite on a lot of videos. But it's like it's like I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me having to set a expectation of maturity for the adults in our community. And what I see is a lot of ratchet bullshit. And it's like this doesn't make any sense. And it's like now it's like kind of calling it a disposition diminishes it because it makes it personal. But I gotta wonder, is there justification for my disposition, or am I just being what they call a negative Nelly that I need to lighten up?
No, I'm gonna say look at it like this. When you talk about black folks, especially black men, they will always highlight the worst part first. That's just what it is. So I'm not gonna say it's a 95-90 thing. I don't think it's that bad, but you got to keep in mind they're going to highlight the worst first, or they're gonna highlight the worst the most. However you want to look at it. So I'm not gonna say it's quite 95-9. There's a lot of brothers doing things they need to get done, but that's not the story that America wants to put on about brothers. They want to talk about how brothers ain't doing anything. So you're gonna always get sent more in that direction.
Mm,
That's how I look at it. You know,
mm.
but my
Yeah,
disposition is positive overall.
yeah. I can say that. I mean, Roger is a living example of how you can believe yourself that much and have your son to believe in. It's like it's a good thing to be able to observe. It's like if there was a good cop, bad cop, Roger would probably likely be the good cop. you know.
Mm. One of my
but
friends would say that. Very close friends.
but
I don't know if he would, but we'll go ahead.
but check out the Roger Report live Monday through Friday mornings. Go. Hopefully, let me see if I can post a link in the chat so people can go over there and sub. So
They
they can
definitely
catch you.
should.
And I
They
mean, like
definitely should.
and I mean, like they're not just doing like they're not just doing like just nothing over there. He has some very intriguing, intelligent, high value minds show up to his channel. Like seriously, he even helped the kid promote his T-shirt brand. Like that's the kind of things that I feel like that you do what you can. You know, you do what you can, and and like I said, and I do the one person thing. If you reach one person, you've done it. And Roger, I feel like is reaching a lot of people right now. So keep doing your thing, my habitual line stepper brother, and so proud to have you on the team.
I'm proud to be on the team, man. I'm proud to be on the team. The things you do over here in this space, man. If it wasn't for the how thorough you are, there's no telling what we'd be. I ain't
I
gonna
think,
go
and you know
way
what
too much
though?
of that on air, but you know what I mean, bro. If you wasn't as thorough as you are, we might not be who we are. Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, I do feel like that the people that I'm surrounded with do have the capacity to have pulled great things off anyway. I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Pop
I
your
just feel
collar a
like
little
that
bit. You can
I just
pop
feel
your
like
collar a little bit, brother.
yeah, like way though. But just like Jurassic Park, life finds a way. But yeah, man, I mean, it's to me to an extent, there's really nothing wrong with a black man having a disposition as long as it's not a violent disposition. As long as it's not a terrorizing, terrifying disposition. As long as he didn't let life beat him up so bad that it adversely affected the kind of person that he is, you know, and then a lot of that time it can come up as a person that believes in bringing harm to others, and there's ways to solve that real quick with people like that. But me, I would rather not. I rather it not get to that point. I'm saying what are, and I know what you're gonna say. What are the ways that we can stop young men from having a violent disposition?
Oh man, how to stop them from having a violent disposition? Oh man, them kids need some daddies. That's what they need. That's all. Them
Wow,
kids need their
and you
fathers.
know what though? You're the second person that said that on this particular program. That fathers make a difference. I mean, well, including me. The three habitual, the three of the habitual line steppers have already said, "Hey, you know what? The father is a valuable, important part of any child's life."
Yeah, you're not gonna have no bunch of violent sons if they grow up with their daddies, because they're gonna understand the difference between when to make a move and when not to make a move on some kind of level. But when you grow up and you under women, women get emotional way more than men do on a usual level, and then they'll sit in their emotions for a longer period of time than men usually. So if you had boys, you go out into the world and you start dealing with other boys, and you come up, you get a little older, you start dealing with other men. Of course, you going that's the combination for violence. Because how do you solve your problem if you can't solve it another way? You do it violent.
Mm.
But if
Yeah.
you're emotional, you get violent quicker than when you're supposed to.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they just need some daddies. They'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And we also need to make sure that when choosing a suitor, we will have a child with, should at least the dude got some sense.
Well, I mean,
So
Oh, I was gonna say we do got to take into account that a lot of these women are losers. That's why they have babies by losers. We got to take that into account.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, so it won't ever net. It'll be best. What you're saying is they doing what's best for their coochie. They're not doing what's best for their child.
no,
And
I'm
then
not.
and then not even that in that case.
I can't even give them that much credit. I can't even give them that much credit because that's not doing what's best for your coochie. Because what's best for your coochie would be hold off till you got somebody who's going in a certain direction that you want to end up in. So I can't even say that's best for the coochie. But what I can say is, you know, better yourself before you have a baby. That's all. Because if you're a
Mm,
loser, then you go have a baby. You more than likely gonna have a baby by another loser.
mm,
You could better yourself before you have a baby though. And then what's gonna
mm,
happen? More than likely you'll have a baby by a better man.
mm. Yeah, but I feel like that I have a even more special assignment in life because I have a daughter that is coming up in this environment that we are trying so hard to change because we don't see this as an environment that is very conducive to the productivity of any young person growing up. It's
So,
like it's like preacher Paulie on Vampire in Brooklyn. Shit, you go into the church and you preacher saying evil is good.
mhm.
It's like everything that's being is good is seen as bad. Thing is bad is being seen as good.
Yeah, and, and and that's the way for things to be unless people gotta stand their ground. At some point in time, they're gonna have a backbone about things. That's how I look at it. Society been pushing a different direction because you don't have enough people who push back.
Mm,
And sometimes you got to push back, man. Now, and when it comes to like the disposition of men, like me, I come from a very happy disposition, but I've heard people try to rag on different black men for like going through things like red pill rage and all that. My thing is leave them brothers alone. Let them vent. Everybody else want to vent. Why can't they? You
yeah,
know, just because they venting about something you don't want them to vent about, don't mean they shouldn't be able to vent. Let them brothers vent. People shouldn't have been lying to them their whole lives in the first place. People act like that part ain't true. These brothers
mm,
been lied to their whole life. Now they start to pay attention to the world and they figure out they've been lied to. And people want to get mad at them for getting mad. People been lying to them their whole lives. That's wrong in itself.
yeah. So yeah, I brought this up earlier. What horrible gaslighting is saying something like "Who hurt you as a child"? Like, what if that person really got hurt as a child?
I
And I
mean,
mean, like I say that as kind of a smug dig because it's like people say that shit all the time, man. It's like really, you sit up there, you talk about the victimizations of young women all the time and how we should pay more attention to that. But we actively live in a world that does not really give a damn about your little boys, about black boys,
what?
about
Well, that's
black
what.
sons.
But that's why they say who hurt you. So
Mm.
if a person said it, who hurt you, if that's what they're asking, all you gotta do is just you're talking to a person that doesn't care about it. You see what I'm saying? Who hurt you? What are you doing? You're trying to be dismissive toward that person's problem. Now, of course, they fear you had to be hurt to get to the disposition you're in. Why? Because they hurt people, so they expect you to be hurt.
Mm.
People hurt people expect to talk to hurt people.
Mm. Yeah,
See,
yeah,
there's a lot of sayings where people move accountability around to other folks because you got that saying, hurt people. Yeah, but also people who hurt people expect people to be hurt.
mm. Okay, so that's not using the disposition at all in a good way. That's more of a negative disposition.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you have to have a negative disposition to be asking somebody who hurt them because you
Mm.
you already assuming that they've been hurt in the first place. And what's the easiest thing to make you come to that conclusion? The fact that you're out here hurting people.
Mm. Mm. Okay, so but what about like what about the guys who they say this about? When they normally when they say that the guys, they're normally trying to point, you know, it doesn't have a damn thing to do with their life experiences. It comes off, it usually come in the form of a debate where two people are disagreeing, and then all of a sudden one of them says the other person has been hurt as a child. Now, I got a question for you. Do you consider
Mhm.
that person who says that the winner or the loser of that debate?
I mean, you got to be a loser if you start making up stuff in your own mind about a person being hurt as a child in order to not deal with the point that was just presented. I mean, come on now, you already know you lost the debate. That's pretty much gonna go without saying. If you got to go to that, you definitely. I'm sure you've just lost the debate. Because you can't even respond to what's actually to whatever's being asked of you at that point. You talking about who hurt you? That's a deflection,
A
and
pretty
it seems
bad
like
one
a
too.
deflection. Yeah, but I would say it seems like a deflection of somebody that's abusive. You see what I'm saying? If you're an abusive person, you ask somebody who hurt them because you expect them to be hurt because you're an abusive person, so you expect them to run into hurt people. That's how I look at that.
Well, yeah, that's usually what that's usually kind of what abusive people do, though. They kind of gaslight the situation. Uh,
Well, they're abusive. I mean, they ain't gonna do nothing good.
mhm. Yeah. So, King, hey, tell me about a situation where your disposition helped you.
Well, you know what? I mean, my disposition helps me every day because honestly, my disposition is happiness is a choice, so I simply choose to be happy. So therefore, when other people are doing things, if I don't really care about them, it don't bother me because you know what? I don't take nothing personal. I was just telling this somebody what a day or two ago. I don't take nothing personal. You can say whatever you want about me, but if you don't know me, you're trying to formulate something going on in your own head. So you don't have a problem with me. You having a problem with an idea that's in your head, which I have zero responsibility for. So I don't take anything personal. Even if I meet you and you're a racist, you're not racist because you met me. You're racist because you have ideas of other people that have nothing to do with it. So my thing is the fact that I don't take stuff personal like that. It helps me a lot of ways because I don't waste time thinking about idiots.
Okay. Do you think that can be misconstrued?
Well, I mean, it can be to a certain degree, but I have to put some thought into that because some people would just say, "Oh, he's just an a-hole," but to a certain degree, I
Mm.
am because I don't care about what you think is supposed to be important to me.
Oh, okay.
I
All
can
right.
honestly say that just because
All
you
right.
think it's supposed to be important to me doesn't mean it's going to be important to me.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What? Okay. Basically, what do you think of someone trying to beef you? Trying to beef with you. How would you handle that? Saying that.
Basically.
Say if it's a YouTuber and they make this 30-minute long video, be like, man, fuck the Roger Report, Roger Report, blah blah blah, blah blah, yakety schmaggety. What would you do? What would
I
be
would
what would be your response?
I would need to respond to that. I'm gonna accept the fact that I've inspired that person.
Yeah, cause I've said this before. You got to be a special ass motherfucker for me to sit up there and take time to beef with you. If I do something, I'm probably gonna do something that's gonna take a minute or two. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna let it be drawn out. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And then it's going to be business as usual. If I decide to do that. I mean, I
Well, I'm
feel
a,
like that. I feel like that. I feel like that beefing with somebody like that, it'll make me like them. It'll take me off what I need to do for this channel, and my channel's growth will stunt. And and I'll just be like everybody else. I mean, I feel more like a special attraction when I don't beef with people because that means that you have when you feel like you have to come for me. I don't. You need me more than I need you, basically.
Well, with the risk of sounding arrogant, because I don't want to come off as arrogant, I can understand why somebody would want to be for me. I like my I like myself. Okay, some people don't really like themselves. I like me. So if a person wants to give me a certain level of attention, I'm understanding to it. Because the
Okay.
one thing I joke about this with my friends. Um, the one thing my friends have never given me is a friend like me.
I mean, shit. I mean, facts all day.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
I could, yeah, trying to be for me is like that's understandable that I'm that important to you. That's just how I take that, you know. And I really don't mean that in an arrogant way. I like myself so much I can see why I'm a focal point of somebody else.
Yeah. How they might throw somebody.
I mean,
You're a.
if
I
you're gonna pick a person, see, this is it. This is just me having high self esteem. If you're gonna pick a person to focus on, why shouldn't it be me?
mean, mm.
That's how
I
I
don't
look at
know,
that.
man. I don't know, man. I just don't like flies buzzing around my ear with anything because flies are attracted to shit. So, and I don't like to think of myself as shit. So the shit, but not shit, not boo boo.
Well, I don't never want to be arrogant, but I mean, I think this is
Arrogant or
understandable, and people
confident.
should. Well, no, I'm saying I don't want to be arrogant, but I think other people should be able to have a feeling like this. I mean, on all they say we got about 7 to 8 billion people here on planet Earth, right? It's about 7 to 8 billion of us, right? I can honestly
Yep.
say, out of all the people on planet Earth, I'm my favorite person. I can honestly say that. I don't think that's being arrogant. I
Yeah.
think people should like themselves more than they like other people. I mean, if you don't like yourself, how can you expect other
Don't
people to like
talk. Don't talk about Roger around Roger because you talk about the person he loves.
you? Well, I mean, I love myself. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? If I was another person and had a chance to be a friend with me, I would take that opportunity. That's how I look at it, you know.
Man, I knew this
And
super
people,
positive guy. I knew. Let me tell you the story really quick. I knew this super positive guy. He had such a positive disposition. You know, you walk up to him and ask him, "How you doing? How you doing?" We'll say his name Dan. So how you doing, Dan? He said, "If I were any better, I'd be twins." And then I'm wondering why he's so positive because I'm not positive like that. I'm like, why are you so positive? He said, "Well, you know what? I can make this choice. Either I could be happy or I could be sad. And I choose to be happy." So there was this, like, he was a manager at a retail store. So one day the store got robbed. The store got
hmm
robbed. They cleaned out the cash register. He went out, cleaned the safe for him, turned his back. And then as they were leaving the office, they shot him. He spent a
hmm
couple of months in a coma. He woke up, got better. I saw Dan again. Dan was like, I was like, Dan, go, man, what's up, man? Glad to see you, man. Back on your feet. How you doing? You know what he said? He said,
I'm doing great.
if I were any better, if I were any better, I'd be twins. I was like, wow, man, that is really a way of looking at life. And he said, well, it's like this, Kevin. I could have chose to live or I could have died. You know, even though he had something that unfortunate happen to him, even though he treated everyone like gold, he did not let it change him whatsoever. And even though I will never be that positive and I will not lose any sleep about not being that positive, I admired him. I admired Dan. Seriously.
He
I
sounds
admired
like a
that
great
guy.
guy. He sounds like a great
Yeah,
guy. He
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like somebody I get along with. Because I think
Yeah,
he's actually
yeah,
found
yeah.
one of the secrets to life, which is truly is. It is a choice. Whatever your situation is, you can choose to be happy in it, or you can choose to be sad in it. You can choose to be angry. You can choose to be
Yeah.
disgruntled. You can choose a lot of different emotions, But me, I choose happiness. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
number one is me.
I would talk to I would talk to I would talk to your average black woman about a choice that she can make. And when she's being argumentative, when she's being an oppositional black woman, um, I would tell her just like this: is really simple. You're making it more complicated than it really is. It's really simple. If you want positive results from people, don't be a bitch.
I mean, that makes
That's
sense.
simple. Just don't be a bitch. Yeah, it does,
Hey,
but
that's like saying
it
two
makes
plus two
sense.
equals
But
four. Yeah,
mm.
that make a lot of sense. Because certain women. I mean, just being honest, certain women they wouldn't like themselves either. I mean, if you think about it, would they hang out with themselves if they had a chance to? And for a lot of women, it's
Nah,
a lot of sisters, the answer would be no. Unfortunately, they wouldn't hang out with them.
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't hang out with
Man,
them. They wouldn't hang out with them, and they wouldn't want their son dating somebody like them.
yeah, that too.
I
That's
mean,
that's real. That's real.
who wants their son to date somebody and they have to say, "I wish a bitch would" when it comes to my son? You know, who wants to say that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Well,
But you were telling me about you were telling me about an experience of yours, man. Like that you were, that you hanging on by a thread, and you just felt like because of that one. I mean, if you don't mind sharing it, we talk about a lot of things off air. Yeah.
yeah, I feel. And I know what you're talking about. No, it's for me. I don't try to use it as a big deal because people take stuff like that and they're like, oh, he just, what? I don't be trying to put no sad stuff around me. But I did have an experience
Yeah.
where I got put into a coma. Somebody tried to kill me. It didn't happen. Now, how do I really view myself about the situation? I'm thankful that God kept me here. I believe I had the right people praying for me when I was basically laying on my deathbed. You know, now that's years ago for me. I can laugh and joke about it now. You know, at the end of the day, I could have been a really messed up person, but I'm actually totally fine. So, um, and maybe that gives me a certain level of confidence because it's like, people can try to do something for me, but I understand that there are forces at hand and you're not going to be able to get the job done. So maybe it just gives me a certain level of confidence as well. But hey, I'm a happy go lucky person. Everything's good in
Mhm.
my book. And I don't use it as a crutch, and it's kind of why I don't really let people give me sob stories either, because I feel like everybody got a sob story, so I could present information like that because I almost died. I could present information to tell you a real sob story about why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that, but I don't use that to make excuses for stuff. I thank God I'm
Mm.
still here, and I keep pushing forward the things I think I need to get done. But I just
Mm.
honestly, I just don't bring it up because my thing is everybody got a sob story. So if we start accounting for sob story, everyone has a reason not to get anything done. Because your sob story may be different than mine, but we all got one.
Yeah. And you know what Roger just did? He used his positive disposition to his advantage. You know, if you have a near death experience and you get through it, then you were meant to do something bigger. Why can't why wouldn't you see it as such? You know, but it's just me. Yeah, I mean, I had an experience too, and I brought it up before on the show. It's just that it was what it was. I got through it. I survived. You know, and anybody that has anything like that happen to them, I support you, and I pray for your survival as well. So, let's see. But anyway, uh, yeah, you know, what would you what would you suggest for people who have like bad dispositions? Like, how would you bring back a person? How would you bring back a person who has a violent disposition who hasn't quite crossed that line yet?
Man, I told him to get over it because what good is it doing for him? At the end of the day, walking around all bad and salty doesn't benefit you at all. So why would you waste your own time? Because you only got one life,
Mm,
one experience at this life. You only got one.
mm,
And we all can quote unquote theorize what's gonna happen in the afterlife, if there's an afterlife. But you only got one shot at this one. So why would you waste your time walking around being mad at other people? And
mm.
pushing you to the point of violence where you may end up getting locked up or getting killed yourself because you sitting around here wasting your time being mad at other folks that you can't really do nothing about, and they probably ain't even paying that much attention to you in the first place.
They ain't even sweating you like that.
Yeah, why waste your own time like that?
Mm.
You know what
But
I'm
you know
saying?
what
I
though?
don't get. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you know what though? I would an enemy or somebody that was messing with you like that would want to see you in a state of despair. Not doing good.
True.
Being in an actual position to where they can put you under that thumb. You know, I I just know that I have too much pride to want to see life that way. Yeah. I was saying earlier, and I was giving this example earlier, is like, being around successful people. If like I can't conceive or I can't perceive being below someone, I give someone their due respect, and and I'm a person that can face truth and facts, but it's like a person who's stuck up being stuck up toward me. um I put it to you like this. I make the comparison of I've been around people who are successful that have treated me like a complete human being. So why should this successful person treat me any different? Or be allowed to treat me any different?
Well, I get where you're coming from, and I'm gonna say this: I've been around very successful people, and I don't really have bad experiences around very successful people.
Mm,
And I'm a person. I'm not really into status, so your I don't care about your success where it'll make me feel bad about whatever success I've achieved or haven't achieved. Like I'm not that into your success. I'm happy for any person who's successful, but I'm not so into your success where it's going to demean my success. And you may be
mm,
far more successful than me, but I got over that a long time ago. I mean, I live in a time where Michael Jordan was playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? I've been got over that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the most successful man I knew at the time. So yeah, I'm not worried about another man's success like that. I'm happy for any brother who gets his success, but I'll never feel bad because somebody is more successful than me in this area. That don't bother me at all. Imagine for you.
you know, like I guess the one key point in my life where I decided this was when I was a kid. I took a field trip. For some reason, my mother made me take a field trip with my sister to Chuck E. Cheese. This is when we were real. This is when we were little kids. Uh, it just so happens that Keisha Knight Pulliam from the Cosby Show was there, and
Mm.
me and
All right.
my sister Keisha Knight Pulliam separated from the rest of the class and played all day long. That's the part where I realized that famous people were just normal people that that were just on shit like TV shows and stuff. you know,
Just well
you know what
known.
I'm saying? Yeah,
They just
yeah,
very well known
just a
people.
little known. I mean, granted that Keisha Knight Pulliam was like 6 or 7 years old at the time. I mean, she didn't have all that bravado or whatever, but um, well, but
Speak up.
it was just an ease of mind for my thought process. I would say, me being like, I think I was like 11 or something like that when that happened, 11 or 12, and it's like, yeah, this was like before Raven Simone, Rudy Huxtable.
Mm-hmm. Shit kept holding her.
So yeah, that was yeah. So that was a fun, memorable day. You know, it was.
Yeah. Well, like I said, my thing is
Yeah.
when it comes to successful people, to me, well, at least my experience, so far, all of them treat me very well because I've been able to spend time around multimillionaires. All of them been nice to me. I can't tell you a bad experience that I've had with a very successful person. And you know what?
Mm. I
I
mean,
mean,
I can
don't get me
understand.
wrong.
You know, go ahead.
Look, no, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm just saying. I mean, I can even tell you this though. I can understand cocky to an extent. You know, I can understand if somebody's a little cocky. But just being a smug prick and I give in. I give in to the side that I like, but it's very detrimental.
Well, well,
Like
let me say this.
just being smug back. What's going
What
on?
at the risk of sounding arrogant, because to me it ain't really about being arrogant. I think so highly of myself. Even if you thought you were better than me, I probably wouldn't even pick up on it. You know, because
Oh man.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
I mean, no, I
Listen,
agree. I totally agree. That's the way to be, man.
and
With more
I'm not
people
saying this,
like
but
that.
I would get. Well, I'm not trying to put the message out. I would get smug with anybody else, but um, if you really believe that you were better than me, like it's not gonna bother me. Number one, because you have a right to believe anything you want to believe, so I'm totally fine with that. But I'm not gonna believe you better than me, so it's not gonna actually make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Even if I notice that you think you're better than me, I'm not into status like that. So the status that's important to me is family status. If this is your son, I know that that carries a certain amount of weight. This is your daughter, that carries a certain amount of weight. So if it's your wife, things like that. Outside of that, I just see people as people. You know, like I said, I've never really had a bad experience with someone who was famous or well known or multi-billionaire, at least that I know of. Now, somebody might have tried something with me that maybe it was a multi-billionaire, but I didn't know it. But at the end of the day, folks who try to treat me a certain way, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. At the end of the day, so it's like you may try to, put me in a certain box, but I'm not gonna fit into your box just because you want me to be in the box. I'm gonna do me, and it's just that simple. I'm gonna
Yeah.
respect you, I'm gonna basically put you in a position where you're gonna have to respect me. And if you, because I'm not gonna really enter in a situation where it's gonna be pretty much allowed to disrespect me, and you're just not
Mm.
that big to me. That's all. You may be huge to everybody else, but you'll never be that big to me. And because my viewpoint is this, and it's from a biblical standpoint. This is my viewpoint. Um, God created man. And for whatever reason, God decided that man is his greatest creation. So God say I'm the greatest thing in all existence. Period. So ain't nothing else you can tell me. Because in his opinion, I'm the greatest thing in all existence. You, as another person, you're just the same thing as I am from that particular level. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to see a person that's better than me because, yes, you may be the greatest thing in all existence, but so am I. So I'm never going to see you as better than me on that level. So, stuff ain't going to bother me like that. You know, that's
Mm.
how I look at it. Because no matter how you view me, I know how he views me.
Mm. Well, here's where my disposition kicks in. It's like you can view me however you want to view me. I just opt not to care. In fact, if I felt like it, I'd probably turn around and do the same thing to you that you were trying to do to me. An eye for an eye. But, which is not always good because sometimes, and Donnie can tell you, once you do that to a person, they might want to do that stuff for years and years and years. But, it's just that's a gamble right there. So, that doesn't happen to everyone. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, it's just like you kill them verbally by fucking with their mentals. Is It's something that takes years and years of training. Years and years. Well, not training. Years and years of practice to do to master. To is like to be able to say something to somebody and walk away, and then they pick up on it 5 seconds later. Like, what did that mother whatever say that stuff right? God darn it! They start non-cursing. They get so mad. Gosh darn it! What the freak did he just do? Like, this is very gratifying to be able to do that. And it's a little mean, but hey, it's like you teach somebody a lesson without having to lay a finger on them. You know, how about that? I just want brothers to react better and to use dispositions, the dispositions that you do have, to your advantage. Now, let's talk about this space a little bit. Do you think disposition is important when you approach this space in YouTube,
I mean,
Roger?
I think black male media is important. So absolutely, you
Yeah,
know.
black male media is very important. In fact, it's probably one of the fastest growing outlets, that's coming up. Black male media, and it's just more and more of it, and more of it is needed. You know, and I wish for all my brothers to if you are trying to do something within the media, and even if it's involving like starting a YouTube channel, I wish you all the best of luck. But my one suggestion that I would I would suggest for guys coming in, is to play on your strengths. Don't try to be something that you're not, because it's like when you see people, like, yeah, there are people in this space, and there are people like just like anywhere on social media, there are people that try to pretend like they're something that they're not, and it's not my job to expose those people, but I do sit back and observe when they're found out and they have to explain themselves. You know,
Mm. Well, I
you know,
discourage people from doing that off the basis that
yeah,
you need to like yourself some more. Like yourself enough
yeah.
first that you can be yourself in front of other people.
I mean, you can have
I'm,
you can have a YouTube personality, but trying to be something that you're not completely is that's an injustice to yourself. You don't give yourself a chance to find out who's the real you when you're trying to be something that you're not. If people, if the audience is following me, you know. In other words, do just like Roger said, be yourself. The thing is you'll look like a fool otherwise.
well, my thing is this: you have if you don't like you, it's a pretty much a reasonable expectation that other people won't like you either. So like yourself enough first that you can be comfortable with how you are, because you gotta be able to be yourself, because you gotta be able to attract your particular audience. And if you don't like you, how you gonna get your audience? That's not gonna make sense. At the end of the day, people
Oh,
make connections with certain
oh
people.
yeah, yeah.
If you want to connect with a person, you got to give them something to connect to. But if you give them someone else to connect to, because you're presenting something that ain't really you or something you don't really stand behind, whatever the case is, if you're not being your real self, then the minute your real self comes out, whoever you had with you is now gone. So why waste? That's a waste of time.
Yeah, and people
It's
are
just
going to
too
be
much
like,
time
who is
being
this
wasted.
guy?
Yeah, my thing is you wasted your own
Hmm.
time. You built an audience as another person. Then as soon as yourself came out, you lost that audience because you're not who they were who they look. You're not the person they were looking for in the first place. You know. So my thing is like yourself enough that you can give of yourself. You don't have to give your whole self, but you can give of yourself. But you gotta like yourself enough first.
Hmm.
And if you don't like yourself enough, stay off. Don't come to me if you don't like yourself.
Hmm.
I'm just keeping it real. This ain't what you need to be doing if you don't like yourself. Everybody needs to figure out how to like themselves first. And for some of y'all, that means somebody's gonna have to change. Sometimes people got to change. If you don't like yourself, it's probably a great reason you don't like yourself. So just change.
Yeah, let me go in a little different direction for a second. One of my favorite sayings is, "I'm not
Hold on,
trying to
before
win a
you cut that,
popularity."
before you do that, let me say this. Let me say this because I don't want to sound insensitive. There are some people who don't like themselves and have real issues, and for those people, seek out some form of therapy. It's okay to ask for help. Okay,
All
go ahead,
right,
kid.
all right. Yeah, this is gonna be a little off, in another direction. But one of my favorite sayings is, "I'm not trying to win a popularity contest." With truly, I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. But one thing that I have learned is you can't say that on YouTube. You actually in YouTube, you are in a way you are trying to win a popularity contest because the more popular you are, the more viewership you get. Are you following me?
I'll follow that line of logic. I will say that. We
I
follow that
mean the
line of logic.
logic, the logic, but I mean nobody will come out and say it like that. But in order to get some success on this platform, you've got to be a little popular. I mean, it's whether okay. If you had okay, if you had, I guess, 700 viewers every time you did a live stream, would that not mean that you were somewhat popular?
I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, yes. I get what you're saying because I do follow the
I
logic.
mean, I get
I do
why
follow.
I get why we make content. I do. But just think of popular in the loosest of terms.
No, I mean,
Try not to be so
I get what you.
specific. Try not to be
I
so
get what you're
specific
saying.
and try to crunch it in. You know,
No,
yeah.
no, I get what you're saying, but it's just I just got probably a slight a different way of looking at it from a fundamental standpoint. Uh, me, I'm already the most popular person with myself, so I look at it like this. Okay, I know it sounds funny, but my thing is everybody should be able to like themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got to sit in the room by yourself, you should like your own company. If you don't like your own company, you got a lot of problems going on. You know. But for those who have serious problems, honestly, seek some therapy or get some help, get some counseling. Or whatever. If you have a real problem, if you don't like yourself, you probably need to get a little bit of help. Okay, or there's some behaviors about you that you
Okay.
really need to
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Yeah. That's when it's and that's when it's no longer a disposition.
Right. But when it comes to the popularity
It's
thing, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. I was actually finished.
Uh, okay. Well, see, this is what I say. Like, okay, like when it comes being on social media like this, okay, yeah, popularity to a certain degree matters. But see, my thing is, I've always looked at who am I popular with as being more important. You see what I'm saying? I can have big numbers, but what if I got big numbers with people I don't even like? So it just, I guess it depends on how you view it to a certain. I don't mind getting views. I don't mind being bigger. I don't mind the financial help that comes from all that. So I don't want to say it like it doesn't mean anything. But I do believe my audience is generally a great population of people, and I like the fact that I'm
Yeah.
being popular with a great population of people, not just anybody.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something I appreciate about my channel. I have a dedicated group of people who comment on my videos. And not that they're a group or some kind of organized piece or anything. Like they're just regulars that are in my comment section. And a lot of content creators don't even participate. They don't even so much as press like on their own on the people who view their video comments. And I think that is very important that people know that you are considering them and you do appreciate the fact that they are watching your content. So I think we had a little conversation where you were kind of like, not yeah, I guess I took it that way, kind of like try to more so stay away from making comments in your comment section, but I visit those comment sections to make sure that my audience and the people who view my videos are important, and I feel like
Hold on,
that's
hold
worked.
on, hold on. That you nah, that wasn't me. You had that conversation with. I actually respond to a lot of people who comment on my video. I give a lot of responses to mine. So no, my audience is important. I honestly feel I have the best audience on social media. That's my personal opinion. I got the best show on social media,
Yeah,
and I got
personal.
the best audience on social media.
The operative word for my audience is personally.
It's
He
what?
thinks that his audience is the best, and I think my audience is the best personally because they actually discuss the subject matter of the pre-recorded videos that I do. I'm saying, hey, remember I said, remember, yeah, you saw that message where I showed a screenshot of the girl was actually the cousin of the 1 year old who died in the car.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. It's like, yeah, and that and and, and people don't understand like what validation that is for me to have family members visit I mean, they're national stories, so I do understand if your family member is involved, you probably are looking for YouTube videos. And I know the first I'm probably not the first YouTuber that a family member visits, their video with. But if that feels great to me that there's a standard that I must, be held to, when dealing with those subject matters because you never know that their family may be watching. Like the guy who got beaten to death by that dude in Arizona at that quick trip. Like, I let loose on his family. I said he deserved to be where he was at because he tried to do something to that little girl. And his family visited one of my videos.
I
Like
mean,
they weren't mean, but I did say, look, you look like I was making it like I didn't care about their relative, but they felt like, hey, they still were very positive when they got in my comment section. Hey, thanks for your support. You know, thanks for everybody who supported my family. Yeah, they and I thought that was some cool stuff. It really makes me feel like what I'm doing has a purpose.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. And
Mm,
there's certain things going on with my show and my audience, and we reach out to help some people with some certain things. So anytime I know people are thanking me for certain things I'm doing, and I'm able to pass information on to certain people right now. So man, it's a beautiful thing to because if people can say a lot of things, but what no one will be able to say to me that's gonna make me actually think what they're telling me is true. No one will be able to tell me I have not helped somebody because I already know I have based on what my audience is telling me. So I feel great about that. That I'm able to help people in my own subtle ways. So I feel great about that. You know,
yeah.
it's part of that make the world a better place. Once that's what is a saying. I forget exactly how it go, but basically when you live, you're supposed to make the world a better place before you die. And I'm doing that, so I'm
Hmm.
very happy about that.
Mm,
Yeah.
awesome.
And if nobody else even
Awesome.
cared about certain guys who come to the channel, if no one actually cared about them, at least at my channel, with certain things that are being asked and certain things I'm gonna be doing in the future that I already know about, but once it comes on air, it'll be on there. But there are certain things that I'm doing that I know is helping to make the world a better place, especially amongst brothers like myself. So it's a beautiful thing to me. It's a beautiful thing.
Hmm. Absolutely. And you know, let me see. It is. I'll say this one final thing, and then we can wrap it up. What me and Roger displayed here with our dispositions, even though we handle things differently, there's one thing that both our disposition have in common. They're both solid. They're both solid. And what I would like for us to do as a community of, melanated people who claim that we want to move forward, we just have to remain solid. You know, remaining solid. Can be anything from you know taking care of basic priorities to the most basic of priorities to not looking, you know, having self-respect in the face of people who otherwise just want to criticize you. We have to stick our chest out, and be proud of who we are. Period. So, so Roger, have you got anything else?
All I'm gonna say is I appreciate all the audience that's out there, those who catch us live, those who catch us on the replay. If you are also an audience member of my channel, just want you to know I love all y'all. All the audience members of Kib channel that are not an audience member of my channel, I love y'all too. Even though y'all could be changing up how you intaking content, because I don't know why you're in his audience, but you're not in mine. But we're not gonna get to that right now. We're not gonna get to that. But you should you should be my audience too. But I love all y'all, man. Point blank period. I love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? When I say I got the best show on social media, it's because I really feel I got the best audience on social media, and I do love y'all. And I'll come around to places like this here because I know that it's another great place to be, another great place to spend some time. And I do have an understanding that I only got one life to live, so I try to spend my time where I want to. So anytime I'm over here, that's because that's something I wanted to do because I appreciate Kev a great deal. This is a great man. Y'all don't even know how cold this brother is. You really don't. You may think you have an idea. This is a cold brother right here. So definitely stick by with this. If you're a person just hearing this for the first time, y'all definitely need to subscribe to his channel. This is a cold brother right here. But I'm sure as time goes on, y'all will see more and more of that. So glad to be here, brother. That's all I can really say. Glad to be here.
Um, thank and thanks for the compliments, man. Really, really feel appreciated. Is and yeah, and I feel like that my disposition is not in vain. One thing that Roger says at the end of each one of his shows, that he is right, and you best believe that he is right about that what he said, his assessment. And and but about that audience thing, yes, yeah, I do feel like that. My audience is full of intelligent people. We're not a community of ratchets. We're not a community of unambitious males that love to get into what, in layman's terms, we call nigga shit. They are a very intelligent audience, and I do feel like that I have the best audience. Period. But I will tell my audience this: I'm not so selfish as to hold on to you and keep you for myself. So, well, you can check out Roger if you want to. He's only on every Monday through Friday morning. He's just he and just because some great intelligent minds doesn't mean that he necessarily has the best show on social media. Maybe in the top five, but best. I mean, that's a really, really, really tall order. you know.
It is.
Uh,
It is. But somebody got to be the
Shout out to
best.
Elongo Savage. Yeah, somebody be so. Yeah, yeah. I meant somebody. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, but aside from all of that, yeah, y'all been great, man. You've been great in supporting this channel right here, and I understand and know that it will be continued growth. So, I will, always, and I will do more to keep you in mind. Period. So we just had a discussion about dispositions and such. If you're just coming in, catch the replay. It was quite the interesting talk. I thought my monologue was pretty good, and then Roger and Donnie came by, my habitual line stepper brothers. So that right there, I've always felt that make my broadcast so much better to have those guys around. you know. So anyway, this is Kev, and this is Black Man Being Brutally Honest. This is it for now, and I will continue in this world with all of my dispositions, what's ever appropriate at the time. So and okay, so being a lookout in this space, and looking forward to some great things happening. Some sooner than later. So long live the habitual line steppers. Like, share, subscribe, and Kev, we trust. See you tomorrow night.